All right, what's going on, everybody? Going to give everybody a few minutes here to jump on, kind of go from there. So a lot to talk about tonight. Whew, man. For those of you who are tuning in after the show has been live, we're going to give everybody a few minutes. What's going on, Web Pain? You are the first there, sir. What's going on, Not Just Rocks? Welcome to the channel. Oh man, I had just gotten rid of the headache whenever that news, like I saw that news. I was what's going on, Sean? How's it going, man? How's everybody feeling tonight? Jamie Newman is not the next Jack From. What's up, the real deal? No sound. Hold on. Can you not hear me? Can you guys hear me okay? That's good. Gus Malzahn says very good for us. Okay. I think most of you guys probably saw my video earlier today. I swear if Stetson Bennett gets in, I'm with you, JC. Yes, JT Daniels is coming off an ACL injury, but the ACL injury happened like the second game of last year. So he's had pretty much a year to recover. But he's not a running quarterback, which is a problem in my opinion. If you're going to a modern day offense, you got to have a quarterback that can move. So what's going on, Dwayne? Shelly Mack, how's it going? You know, I didn't consider that, and I think that's worth talking about. Maybe it could be, maybe it's a decision made by Coach Smart. I'm not sure. That's certainly a possibility, I guess. Is somebody had brought up maybe he had a conversation with Newman. Maybe he wasn't seeing what he wanted out of Newman, or maybe Todd Monken didn't see what he wanted out of Newman. So you guess your phone is a Newman fan. You can't hear. I'm sorry, man. Everybody else can hear. I don't even know what to think at this point. There are so many different ways to look at this. I'm interested in everybody else's opinion. So I'm gonna throw the link up. If you guys want to join the show, feel free to click the link. We'll bring you into the studio and we'll talk about it a little bit. How about them 4th ranked dogs? Almost as good as your spelling there, Dennis. So I just there's so many things here. There's so many things that are something's wrong. Something's off. Something ain't stirring the Kool-Aid, man. Yeah, I can't believe you quit before you even suit up. That just blows my mind. You can't. I mean, you can't even call yourself a football player. You can't even say that you're a player that played for the University of Georgia. Patrick said, I knew as soon as Daniels joined. Hey, Sarah. As soon as JT joined the team, Newman wasn't going to start. That's interesting. But the question is can Daniels run the modern day offense? We don't know that he's healed up from the game before. I mean, from the injury before. We don't know what to get out of DeJuan Mathis. That poop button Newman is a loop before he ever really got started. I know I'm going to have at least one guest who's going to join the show here in just a little bit. He's kind of got his hands full with something in the moment. He'll be joining the show later, but this is almost as bad as it can get. All right, Bob, we'll see you here in a few, buddy. Thanks. I appreciate the compliments, man. I just can't throw out my name because of custody. I understand. Jermaine, I hope you're right, man. From what I've seen from DeJuan Mathis, the guy is incredible, but we've got your messages get hidden. I've got a man, the chat's strolling by. What's going on, Jameer? I've got filters set up on my channel, so if you use language that isn't going to get through the filter, it's going to hide your message every time. What is even a modern day offense? The modern day offense is a quarterback who can scramble for first downs. Hey, what's up, Rashad? Huge fan of Brett, and I support your channel. How many quarterbacks Kirby had to rep with ones? It was 4, including Jamie. I actually made a video earlier today, and here, I'll show you. I didn't upload it, but dang, my phone is blowing up with messages from the other video. Hold on one second. So, what's going on YouTube? Here's a video I made today that I never uploaded, and I was driving to. This is going to be a members only video. Members only section back today. By the way, I drive a lot. And when I drive, I often listen to YouTube. I listen to Dog Nation, Dog Post. I listen to ESPN Sports. I didn't shut off live chat. Did the chat stop? I don't know. It's just maybe it's just a little bit laggy. What's going on, RJ? I lost my spot, dude. Man, I really wanted to see Newman play. I'm upset. My feelings are hurt. It takes a lot to hurt my feelings. Hey, what's going on, Keith? It takes a lot to really frustrate me to that point. I don't know what happened. I would love to know the real story, because it just seems to me that there has got to be more to this story than what we're hearing. It just doesn't make any sense. A quarterback, all of a sudden, he's out there playing. He's taking reps with the ones, and all of a sudden, I'm going to go play pro. What? Where in the heck did that come from? I'm with you, John. I really wanted to see. Ain't got no microphone. Which one would you like for me to use, sir? I mean, I'm just curious. I got one here. I got one here. I got one here. There's one in the webcam. There's one in that webcam. There's one in the laptop. Which microphone do you want me to use, sir? What's up, Shadow Assassin? No, we cannot get a break on quarterbacks. I'm not happy. See, a lot of people were saying how this may not be a legitimate year for college football as to who wins the national championship. I would argue just the opposite. I would say that any time that you would play 10, you would have to play this year at a minimum 11 SEC teams to win the national championship this year. And I would challenge any team in college football history to play 11 SEC teams go undefeated and win a national championship. That would be a banner you could hang on the wall for forever. The UGA defense got to him in that scrimmage and he bolted. Wait a minute. Sarah's one of my favorites. I got to read. Apparently she said something up here. Maybe so, Sarah, but it's certainly a way for him to opt out where he's going to take the least amount, or he thought he was going to take the least amount of backlash. I'm going to tell you right now, there is a lot of fans that are not happy. My phone has not stopped since all this started. So I'm going to throw this in the stream here. If anybody wants to join, feel free. What's going on, Travis Goss? How you doing, sir? Not having a good night. I'm not having a great night at all, man. Oh, man. What is there's so many different things here. I don't know. I just want to know that Jermaine says, I just want to know the truth. What is the real person? Why UGA can't we keep a QB with mobility? Well, the reason we couldn't keep Justin Fields was because they wanted to play Jake Fromm. That's a no-brainer. This thing behind Jamie Newman is a new one on me. This has really got me scratching my head. At first, I was just really, I was really hacked off, and now I don't even know, man. I don't know what's going on here. What's going on, Georgia boy? Welcome back to the channel, sir. For those of you that see the people in the chat stream with the S symbol by their name, those are the chosen few that have decided to join the channel as a support, as a member, to join the members only section. It's really expensive. The lowest level is $1.99 for a month. So it's extremely expensive. Next level is $5.99 and then $9.99 if you want to go crazy. I'm wanting to get a better webcam. What's going on, Brad Pitt? Nice to see you join us before the show is over there, sir. Auburn fans say they're stuck with Bo Nix. At this point, man, I would probably even take Bo Nix because at least we know what we would get out of Bo Nix. I'm with you, SEC dog, just kind of at a loss for words. The question is now, what do we do now? What do we do now? Eric Johnson says, why, Lord, why? Because Georgia. That's why. What else can you say? Because Georgia. It's just what we do. It's just what we do. We find ways to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Hey, Jermaine, thanks for joining as a member, man. Brand new member tonight. We really appreciate it. Thank you, sir. You will be privy to the members only section. You'll get videos and updates and posts and stuff throughout the week. Good news is Arkansas is the first game. Man, if we somehow screw around and lose that game, man. I mean, here's the thing with what you do now is trust your coaching staff. Well, ain't none of them gonna get out there on the field, throw that ball, man. I literally just made a video about how good Jamie Newman looked. Like I just posted it like 2 days ago. How can I get into this members only? RJ, there should be a little box right here somewhere that says join. There'll be one that says subscribe. If you're already subscribed, there'll be one that says join, and you can join there and you can pick what you want to. You can pick what level you want to play at. Just be glad it doesn't have to play Texas this year. Yeah. Vandergrift can't get here fast enough. That's true. I would like to see what Carson Beck can do. What's going on, Ball Bigfoot? Yes, sir. Absolutely. Not happy. Not happy. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Bright side is Jamie Newman may have done UGA a favor. Sometimes the trash takes itself out. I was talking with Keith earlier today, and I was hoping he was going to join the stream. Hey, what's up, Jesse Stacy? Yeah, and that's one of the things I wanted to get to. Tennessee gonna win the East. No, we'll still beat Tennessee. I guess what I have to look at is that Georgia did really well last year with a less than awesome backup quarterback in Jake Fromm. Keith, were you going to join the stream, my man? We're going to copy this. If you just click on the link here, it'll give you the thing to join, and then you'll show up backstage, man. One of the questions that I had was, how good was Jamie Newman going to be? I knew he was going to be good, but how good was he going to be? And so that lended into his ability to carry the team. That lended into his ability to lead the team. You know, he's got some most important thing, he's got some experience behind him, and he's got some talent. And if you've seen the video I made, the guy looked like he had just been working out nonstop. The guy looked like in great shape. And you looked at it in comparison to JT Daniels, and you go, yeah, I'm not impressed with the physique of JT Daniels. So it lends me to believe he's not going to be a rushing quarterback, which I'm ready for a modern day offense where everything can go. Hey, Bama boy, give me just a second. I'm going to add Keith to the stream here. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, man, how's it going? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you good. Mike's a little bit loud, but it's good.
All right. I'll back it up a little bit.
So me and you had kind of talked a little bit earlier about the team and where it's going now. What's your thoughts there?
It's like I was telling you earlier, you know, it's really interesting, the timing of all this. You know, we know there's going to be a little bit of a quarterback battle. But for him to, you know, wait this late, and we're 3 weeks away from kickoff, you know, I mean, you'd like to see it. I have no bones about him opting out, but I mean, you know, you'd like to see that decision made a little bit earlier, so, you know, some of these other guys can get some reps in. And that's assuming Kirby didn't know about this beforehand. You know, it's like we talked earlier. We don't know what the program knew about what they've been doing behind the scenes. We're just hearing about this now. So it'd be interesting to see what comes out over the next few days for sure.
I'm gonna add Bama boy to the stream here real quick. You ready, Bama boy?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm gonna split this up. So here we go. So one of the things that that I was thinking about was UGA was helping Jamie Newman, and Jamie Newman was helping UGA, right? So it was a mutual, everybody's helping everybody here. But now it's basically Jamie Newman has thrown Georgia under the bus, and Georgia's got to try and figure out how to recover from it. And that just leaves such a sour taste in my mouth, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's like somebody was saying earlier, it just always seems to be a quarterback issue at some point.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy. Hopefully JT Daniels clears and we move on. You know, maybe that was what Newman was feeling, was the pressure of JT Daniels sitting there kind of looming.
Maybe. What's your thoughts there, Bama boy? You ready to rub some salt on us here? Is that what you're here for?
No, man, I ain't, because that is one of the key positions. This post of the season, it's just hard to recover. I mean, Georgia's like Bama and everybody else, they recruit good, but I mean, hell, you got to get that playing time. Yeah,
I'm really puzzled by the timeline behind it. But the more I've thought about it, the better. This actually helps UGA down the road, and and unfortunately, I have to look at this as an already next year problem, because we would have had a JT Daniels that probably would have been playing backup to Jamie Newman all this year, so it would have been highly unlikely that he would have been. It's highly likely that JT Daniels would have been the starter next year, and then that puts you with Carson Beck playing backup again, and Brock Vandergriff, which is probably the better out of all of these guys, rolling in and having to sit the bench for 1, maybe even 2 years. So that pushed everything into a category of where it was likely somebody was going to transfer. Well, it wasn't going to be JT Daniels because he's waited his year. He's finally getting his shot. Carson's already waited a year, so it probably, in my opinion, would have put Brock Vandergriff going to a different school. So this speeds up that entire timeline where we're going to get JT Daniels is going to get his year, and then he may leave. He may be gone. Then that's going to put Carson Beck playing backup this year. And then next year when Brock Vandegrift comes, he's going to get to sit his 1 year. And then after that, he'll get to play. Hopefully that allows us to keep the quarterbacks in a rotation that benefits the Dogs. But I got to tell you, man, I was looking at this year as a real opportunity for UGA to win the national championship.
Hey, I don't think that's gone out the window, man. I mean, we got some real good talents in there. It's in there behind them,
It goes for Tuscaloosa.
Well, I agree. We definitely have some talent. One of the things that really concerns me is that there is going to be a real lack of experience when we get to Game 4. We're not going to have somebody who's played a full season as a starter last year stepping into the role. And I feel like Georgia has already shown that while we can play defense is great. But in today's football, you got to be able to produce offense. And that's why we lost the South Carolina game. We kept them off the scoreboard for the most part, but we couldn't produce points. And whenever we floundered on the defensive side of the ball for however you want to say floundered, when we played against LSU, we didn't dominate defensively on that ball. They dominated us, and we couldn't score points. So, it was just game over.
Yeah.
I'm excited this year for Alabama, man, because I think we're going to get back to the old traditional Alabama. I think our defense is going to be top notch this year. You're going to see a lot of ground and pound. Nick Saban put a lot on defense this year.
There's a lot of talent that's coming back on the Alabama defensive side of the ball.
I'm excited for him.
Yeah. To me, there's a lot of talent out there for Alabama, but I think that Nick Saban has kind of seen the light whenever we ran into the problem that he had with Jalen Hurts not being able to do that well in the second half against Georgia, so they brought in Tua. And then Tua ran and did what he needed to do. He ran into a problem. Nick Saban didn't have a problem putting Jalen Hurts back in there and letting him win the game. To me, that showed me that Nick Saban was able to recognize that today's offenses have to be able to produce points and be willing to make that change mid-game. Kirby Smart proved last year he wasn't doing that. It was Jake Fromm or bust, and it was bust. So now, what's Georgia going to do? Are we going to play a quarterback that plays like Jake Fromm and cross our fingers and hope for the best? Or are we going to roll the dice with Carson Beck and see how he does as a true freshman? Worked pretty good first year for Jake Fromm. Or are we going to have DeJuan Mathis come in and try to implement a modern-day offense because the guy's as fast as you can imagine?
Yeah. If we heard anything on how far along JT Daniels is, I know I think his surgery was, early October last year?
Yeah.
Not 9 to 12 months rehab. I think they said at the time it was going to be closer to 9 months. What's the deal with him still not being medically clear? I haven't checked up on the latest on that because I assumed Newman was going to be our guy,
Right. And I haven't really dug a whole lot into that either, but my assumption would be is that due to the effects of the pandemic, there's probably been limited medical attention as to what normally would have been given, and therefore probably limited.
I'm assuming that's probably going to speed up, huh?
I would imagine. They're probably going to start stabbing him with some type of B12.
Yeah, I imagine he's going to be ready. He went for the waiver, got that. So if he thought for any reason that he was going to miss any significant time medically, I think he would have just sat on the ineligibility of the transfer.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't want to use a year of eligibility when you're going to be hurt. I feel like you're going to be hurt. So I imagine he's cleared, and I think we'll be okay on that front. My question is just, how many reps is he going to be able to get practice-wise beforehand? Where are we at with that?
I think that it sounds like, and I'm trying to be optimistic, but it sounds like Kirby Smart and company, especially Todd Monken, was trying to play through the quarterbacks to see who they wanted to use. If they had all 4 or 5 of these guys playing with the ones, and they probably didn't have Bennett out there because they know what they got in Bennett.
Yeah, for sure.
Bennett's what's that scene from Pulp Fiction? It was like, if you were going to make it, you'd already made it by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to make it. you just is what it is. So we know what we've got in Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett is a quarterback who's familiar with everything that goes on at UGA, familiar with the staff, but he's always going to be a backup quarterback, and he seems to be okay with that. Which, if you let me be a backup quarterback at UGA, I go be a backup quarterback tomorrow. But
Sure.
I know I'm not going to win the starting job, and I think that's where Stetson Bennett is. I also think that DeJuan Mathis has been the most loyal through the whole thing. He could have taken a medical red shirt again this year if he wanted to. He could have just opted out this year altogether and focused on his health. But this guy has been consistently trying to get on the field and trying to play. So then Jamie Newman comes in, and he looks at Jamie Newman and says, "Hey, I know I can't beat this guy because this guy's built like a you-know-what house." And now he's got to get through JT Daniels, who was also a 5-star recruit. And he's like looking up going, wow, man, this sucks. And the guy still stuck around. So to me, I'm like, man, I want to see Carson Beck play. I want to see DeJuan Mathis play. I want to see JT Daniels play. Who fits or who's going to fit JT Daniels' offense the best?
Yeah.
Heard Justin Fields looking for a position.
Who's that?
I said I heard Justin Fields is looking for a place somewhere to play.
Apparently he came down to the practice.
He watched the scrimmage, didn't he? Yeah.
Can't blame me for that.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Bama boy, I appreciate you joining the stream here. I got somebody else who wants to come in, so I'm gonna let you drop off if that's all right, my man.
That's all right, buddy. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. We'll get you on here next time.
All right. See.
Thank you. All right. What's up, UGA boy? How you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on, big dog Brett?
Oh, what's going on? It's you seen it earlier, man. You know where my emotional state is. I'm applying for financial aid for therapy as we speak.
Oh, I'm with you. You hit the nail on the head, man. I shared your video out on Twitter.
I appreciate that.
I think that, your video speaks it all. And like you said, if Jamie Newman was so concerned about his health, then why did he practice? He had 12 practices. Okay, and now he's trying to sit here and say, well, basically he's preparing for the draft. Well, the whole thing is that if he was so concerned about the draft and everything else, why did he just not say screw it and go to this past year's draft?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought earlier.
Yeah.
And the dude, screwed us. We have 3 weeks to prepare. And don't get me wrong, DeJuan Mathis, he has a good shot. I know there's going to probably be a lot of Georgia Bulldog fans pulling for him. But it's also concerning because, he's had brain surgery. We don't know if everything's going to be okay. Hopefully that will be. But then again, we're relying on JT Daniels. And I don't know. It's just scary, dude. We got a 10-game SEC schedule. We play Auburn on week 2. The list goes on and on and on. And it just – I don't think Georgia's in a good situation right now, honestly.
No, well, this is. You can't really fault the coaching staff. And here's my take on that. Whenever you look at the coaches, recognize that they had made we'll say an oops as an understatement with the Justin Fields situation. They had an opportunity to really do something there. They picked the wrong guy. Is what it is. And because of that mistake, I think it cost them in the recruiting department that 1 or 2 years, and they had to try and reload. And Carson Beck was part of that reload situation. So they brought Jamie Newman in as a stopgap, and that fell apart. Now, whenever they went out and they got JT Daniels, I think every Georgia fan was like, why in the hell do we need JT Daniels? We got Jamie Newman. And I don't know if there was a conversation had with Jamie Newman and the Georgia staff that he said, you know what, I may not stay. You may want to keep looking. And so Georgia went out and said, okay, well, that if he doesn't work out, we need to have a fallback guy. Who do we know? Well, that JT Daniels guy, he might want to transfer. And you know what? He did like Georgia at one time. Let's go talk to him. So they brought him in. And so, like I said, the more I think about this, the more little nuances I find. And a big one being that Georgia has done a pretty good job of filling the quarterback locker room. But unfortunately, at this particular junction, we don't have anybody with any recent experience. And
I totally think that the coaching staff knew about this news way before we did. And you're right. I mean, the JT Daniels thing, that could have been all in response to all of this. Because, you got people opting out all across all different kinds of sports. So it's not surprising. It's just the timing. It's like we said, the timing is really weird to wait this late. And a lot of places are also on the uptick with the coronavirus. And, I don't want to get into any of that. But still, you're starting to see, some recovery from this. So, to see somebody wait this long and not opt out earlier, it's really strange. And to use the NFL draft as your reasoning even further, it's just more mysterious, in my opinion. He's still going to be in the draft with Fields and Lawrence and all these guys. So, it's, if I were him, if I was worried about the NFL draft, the very, very last thing I would do is not play football this year.
To me, if I had an opportunity, if I played for on the low end of a D5 or a Power 5 school like Wake Forest, like a Vanderbilt, like a Purdue, whatever. If I played for a school that was not traditionally in the top 20 teams, top 10 teams, and I had an opportunity to go play for a team that had a shot at winning a national championship, at least for the experience, I would play. I'm not a fan of Ohio State, but if I was a football player in Ohio State, and I believe Ohio State has an opportunity to go to a national championship, and I came from, the Minnesota Golden Gophers, I would go play for Ohio State just for the experience of possibly playing for a national championship. Jesse, hey, what's going on, Jesse? Jesse's a guy that I've known for quite a while now. Jesse's a good dude.
I got a question for y'all. I don't think he would be able to be cleared or not, but how crazy would it be if Justin Fields came back to UGA to play this year?
That would make me immediately try to pick up a newspaper and read it to make sure that I wasn't dreaming, because you can't read in your dreams.
That's true. You got that right. That would be wild. We're not, like I said, I think that, a lot of Georgia, or if not all, most Georgia fans are just, we're so caught up right now in the emotions, just because it caught everybody off guard. And it's so college football, and season, and I don't know, it just, I just feel like that a lot of Georgia fans feel like I do, that we're screwed. But we got talent. And I'm not blaming Kirby Smart or anybody on the staff. I don't know, man. I'm just down.
I know here in Atlanta, I listen to 99 The Game quite a bit, and even before Fields was spotted at a UGA scrimmage, there were some conversations about what the possibility would be of Fields transferring back when the Big Ten announced that they weren't going to play. And then, I think it was like a week later, he shows up at a scrimmage. And so it's like, I was kind of preparing for that news to possibly come down that he may transfer back because, if you remember correctly, there was a little bit of news that hit about him kind of regretting transferring.
Yeah.
So there's probably a little bit of there under other than I think, what was it, yesterday? Trump talked to the Big Ten, and it looks like they may start back up. So if they play football, I don't think Fields is going anywhere. But
yeah, I heard something about Thanksgiving. Yeah, they're going to try to start it up or something. I don't know.
So let me throw this in the mix. Something. This is all nonsense I'm fixing to say. How much do you want to bet that the moment, if it was a legitimate surprise to the coaching staff, how much do you want to bet the moment that happened, they all looked at one another and go, hey, which one of us wants to call Justin Fields?
Probably every one of them.
Hey, Travis, I see your comment about having to sit. I don't think the NCAA is going to stop anybody from transferring and playing this year with COVID. I think anybody that enters the transfer portal is going to get a waiver immediately.
Wasn't it Cade Mays didn't get one though, wasn't it?
That was last year, right? Or that was before pandemic.
No, he didn't. Yeah, they didn't grant his waiver. I think because he didn't. It had nothing to do with COVID-19.
Yeah, that was well before.
He just left Georgia to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have a gut feeling. I don't know. I could be wrong. That and I've heard that JT Daniels is going to be cleared here soon.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that he's going to start this year and play 2 more years at UGA.
Yeah.
I think that's a strong likelihood. And I think the mindset is the big problem of all Georgia fans right now. Every single one of us was so excited about getting to see a mobile, designed run quarterback, a guy who had the talent to pull it off, because we saw what he did at Wake Forest with a terrible offensive line. We're just imagining, hey, we've had running backs that's rushed over 1,000 yards. What can we do with a quarterback who can actually become mobile? Not only is that going to get us more yards with a quarterback, that's going to give our running backs more yards too. And that's going to really open up the passing game. And if you watch Jamie Newman throwing balls, I think that one guy's name was Sagat. He was hitting this guy in stride. He was hitting wide receivers in stride, running downfield, just go routes. When Justin Fields was throwing those same kind of routes, 3 and 4 yards short, where the running back or the receiver would have to stop and come back and get the ball or stop their route and end up getting tackled right there. He wasn't doing that. This guy had an arm where he could hit him in the run.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie Newman, I think that, I wouldn't say he threw his career away, but he threw a lot of it away, I think, because you got to think about it. People ain't going to write off a 2-year basically. I mean, Wake Forest was good last year. I mean, don't get me wrong, they were probably good before then, but they were really good last year. You could arguably say they were the second, if not third best ACC school out there, right?
Yeah.
So, but you got to think about it. In 2021, in the NFL draft, are they really going to look at the 2019 NFL highlights? Or not NFL, excuse me, Wake Forest highlights that Jamie Newman had. I mean, to me, I just think that he threw it a lot away.
Well, there is a couple of different sides to this theory. Now, before we go any further here, hang on, guys. So I got 75 guys or 78 people in the stream right now. Thank you guys so much for being on. I really appreciate it. Do me a favor, if you guys would, hit the thumbs up for me. Share, like, subscribe. I really like having you guys here. We have interactive discussions on college football. We have live streams about once a week, and we also have a members-only section, so feel free to join that. Now, back to the other part. There's been talk, and I mean almost immediately, and I don't know how true it is. It's probably not true at all, but that there's been NFL agents that are basically bribing players to opt out to go to the NFL. It would not surprise me if that came out to be the case. I don't know if that's true or not, but the way that this has turned up, it certainly adds to some of the speculation. Now, to also add to why he may have went pro, there's not a lot of really good quarterbacks that are going to go pro, right? So Jamie Newman currently is ranked as being one of the best in college football. He may have gotten to playing with the 1s and 2s at UGA, and he may have realized that if he puts himself on the field against these SEC teams, he may get exposed and his NFL stock credit may go down. And that's kind of what if Jake Fromm would have went pro, not last year, but the year before, he would have went much higher in the draft than he went his final year. So I think he was looking at it and going, I really don't think I can do. Maybe he was looking at it and going, maybe I don't think I can really do any better than I've done so far. I'm just going to take my chances at that. That may have played into it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that thought kind of crossed my mind too about about the exposure. Much more exposure at Georgia than he had at Wake Forest for sure. And if you're not confident, that could hurt your draft status. But from everything that I've heard, this guy was a stud. He was going to, at least perform, on at least somewhat of a percentage of what people expected. And I mean, he was, you had people saying that he was on a Heisman watch list early. So I mean, I don't understand why he would walk away from the potential to play to do that, because I mean, the draft that he's going to go into is that's the Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence draft.
But once those two guys are out of the way, who's next?
Yeah, well, I mean, you had the possibility of Fields not even playing this year. So I mean, why would you not play if you think Fields might not even play? I mean, it's a perfect opportunity if I were him, but you don't know all the variables. It's you don't know. I mean, this kid may have some elderly sick, an elderly people that he lives with or at his home that he didn't want to. I don't know. I don't want to speculate. With people opting out, but the timing is just strange. If you were concerned about your health, there were times when being concerned about your health and opting out of a football season would have made a lot more sense, namely a month ago, month and a half ago. That would have made more sense. But 3 weeks until kickoff and you're going to opt out of the season, that's just strange to me.
I mean, I think Jamie Newman will go 4th, 5th round. I mean, he's not trash, but I think that, another thing that I wanted to bring up to you guys, do you think he's going to get a lot of backlash on saying, because there's a lot of people that says, okay, the ACC's a weak conference, SEC's, got the defense, which, I can't disagree with that. But do you think that people are going to say, well, basically, I mean, I know it's probably silly nonsense, but like people are going to say, oh, he was scared of the SEC, the defenses and this 10-game schedule and stuff. I mean, I know that probably sounds crazy, but I've heard a couple of people already say it. So I wanted to get y'all's take on that.
I mean, I tend to think that if he was scared of the SEC talent, he wouldn't have transferred. He would stay at Wake Forest and then their starting quarterback. I mean, that would have been an easy play for him to do. I mean, people knew about him at Wake Forest. I mean, they knew he was good. He could have stayed there and entered the draft and been as good, if not better, than what he's going to be now, opting out of Georgia. So I think if he was scared, he would have never transferred in the first place. I think early on, before all of this, he had his sights set on the big stage and performing well in front of a lot more audience. So I don't know what's changed. Don't know what changed between then and now.
I think that one of the things that bothers me the most about him leaving is not only did he rob himself of an opportunity to play for Georgia, I think he robbed himself of an opportunity to learn from Todd Monken.
Yeah.
Todd Monken, I mean, if you look at the guy's credentials, I mean, it reads like a Rolodex. I mean, it's just accomplishment after accomplishment after accomplishment on every level of different teams. And you can see the immediate improvement of the teams that he coaches once he's there. And that type of mentality and performance stays there the entire time he's there. And pretty much the moment he leaves, those accomplishments leave with him. So, I mean, if I had an opportunity, let's just say if tomorrow somebody told me that I could go learn how to throw a baseball from Nolan Ryan, I'm going. If somebody told me that I could go learn how to drive a race car like Dale Earnhardt Jr., I'd go learn from that guy. I may not, become a millionaire because of it, but just the opportunity to learn from one of the sport's great legends, because that's what he's going to be when he retires. He's going to be a legend. Why would you not take advantage of that? I mean, I get that Jamie Newman is going to go in the NFL, but it's highly unlikely that even once he goes to the NFL, that whichever team he goes for, they're not going to have an offensive coordinator that is as brilliant as Todd Monken.
Let's throw this out there as speculation. What if he broke team rules and was going to get dismissed, and they just allowed this to happen?
You think
you can leave gracefully? I mean, I'm just speculating. Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of things that could have happened. It's just like I said. I just don't think that what we've been told is the true story. That he just all of a sudden woke up this morning and decided he was going to opt out. I just don't see that as the truth. I mean, something else.
I quick question to ask y'all, and I'll let y'all run, and I'll listen in the comments section. But
Okay.
can you honestly answer this question? Because according to Kirby Smart, I don't think that I don't know. I'm going to ask y'all: could you consider Jamie Newman a dog, or quote unquote a damn good dog?
Not at all.
Not yet. No, for sure.
What is he doing what is he doing? Never take off for a moment the fact that he's already left the team, because in my opinion he's already left the team. He basically declared for the draft. He's off the team. What is he doing while he's at UGA that has made me think that he has provided any benefit to the university?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I mean, I respect Kirby Smart. I really do. But, what Larry Munson says, if you go to Stanford Stadium, they had the big intro, the stuff like that. Man, it's an honor and privilege to strap up and, wear the Georgia colors and stuff. And dude, the guy couldn't even wear. I mean,
well,
I can't. I'm sorry. He will never be a dog in my. He's
a transfer player that transferred from Wake Forest. So I mean, it's like I commented on Big Dog's earlier post. These guys that transfer, as a senior to get playing time, to get a bigger stage, they're selfish anyway. It's just by very nature, right? I mean, if they were interested in being a dog, they could have, gotten the line as a freshman, or, what I'm saying, there's plenty of opportunity to go play where you want to play at. But the fact that you transfer away from a place where that invested in you to come somewhere else and play football for them so that you can benefit yourself. I mean, that's selfish in and of itself. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you should promote yourself and get your draft status as high as you can. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's on the opposite end of the spectrum when you start talking about, being loyal to, to a college or school or something. These guys are not that.
And in just
my opinion.
And just to add on to that, I'm never going to fault Kirby Smart for talking up a player who's leaving the program, because he's not talking that player up to actually talk that player up. He has to do that, because if he trash talks that guy, it's going to affect into that locker room. It's going to become cancerous. It's going to make recruiting difficult. So as an intelligent recruiter and as an intelligent leader of that team, he can only say good things. Otherwise, he's damaging his own product that he's trying to sell, because other players are going to look at that, especially ones that are kind of on the fence. They're going to say, hey, we look at how we treated that guy when that guy decided to leave. I don't want to work with that guy. If that's how he is in public, how is he in a locker room?
Oh yeah.
And so, I mean, that's what we call coach speak.
You have to maintain the, you want to be, in the kids' camp. What's best for you is, I'm all for what's best for you. If you made the decision, then you obviously decided that's what's best for you, and so I support that. That's typical coach speak. And let me, qualify my earlier statement. I don't think any player that transfers is that way. I'm merely talking about somebody that transfers late in their career to go graduate somewhere else so that they can get in the limelight. I'm not talking about the Justin Fields who transferred because he wasn't seeing playing time, which that stinks too. But if you transfer early in your career or earlier in your college career to go somewhere where you're going to play, I mean, I certainly even myself, I wouldn't sit somewhere where I'm not going to play, no matter how loyal I am to it. I certainly, especially if I'm a person that sees myself as a draft pick somewhere in my future, I'm not going to sit behind somebody when I feel like I should be starting somewhere.
Right. There's two ways to motivate people, especially in a sports environment. You can either motivate them through fear, or you can motivate them through inspiration. And the fear only works so well. The inspiration part is what gets you championship teams, because then they play for each other. They play for you. They're not playing for themselves. When you have a fear-based environment, that's the ones that play for themselves, and it becomes a toxic environment. Those players that whenever they leave a program, if the players in the locker room have a problem with the player that leaves, then they'll address it with the player. But if they see the coach trash talking them, they're going to have a problem with that coach every time. because then they're always going to ask, well, what does he think about me behind my back? So, I mean, that's just always going to be a part of it.
Yeah. And I think even, I think it's truthful, even if you see a kid that transfers. I mean, these college coaches are coaching college kids, right? So, I mean, even if he does give you, let's say you were the coach of Wake Forest, he gave you however long and then decided to transfer senior year, you still pat the kid on the back and say, good job, good job. We appreciated everything you've done for our organization. And, we hope you nothing but success in the future and hope to see you in the NFL someday. I mean, that's what you do. And you should be truthful about that because, you're coaching kids and your job as a college coach to the kids is to prepare them to play at the NFL level. That's what you owe it to them.
And not only that, and just to be honest with you, especially with talented players, you never know when that's going to come back around because you never know when Jamie Newman might be your avenue as a coach, as a recruiter, to pick up a 4 or 5 star recruit that Jamie Newman has impact on.
Exactly.
That Jamie Newman
never burn the bridge.
Yeah, Jamie Newman may know a kid who's interested in playing college ball, and so he gets referred to it. Maybe it went to the same high school, which is not uncommon. Talented players often come from the same high schools. They reach out to Jamie Newman. You went to this high school. This kid goes to this high school. Don't you know that coach? Yeah. Can you work this? Can you help us with this? And then if Coach Smart or one of his recruiters was talking smack about Jamie Newman's going to be like, hell no, I'm not doing that. But if he goes, whenever I left there, they were nothing but good to me. I got a ton of respect for those guys. It can pay dividends down the road. So that's why you see those conversations go that way. Whether that's how Kirby Smart actually feels or not is completely irrelevant.
Yeah. I just wanted to say I appreciate you bringing me on. I enjoy your videos. And I know it's just this is your stream, but Keith, it's a sub to me. I'll sub to you, and I appreciate y'all for bringing me on.
Yes, sir.
Hey, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Well, all right, go Dogs.
Go Dogs. All right, guys. Anybody else want to jump in? I'm going to throw the invite down here again. While we're waiting, we got a ton of people in the channel here. Please hit the like, subscribe, and share. Also, don't be afraid to join the members section. We're trying to get that to 1 million members by the end of this week. So feel free. If we fall, 100,000 short of the goal, I'll be okay. Even if you have to create multiple accounts to sign up as a member, I'm okay with that. It doesn't hurt my feelings. All right, so I always do this, and I didn't do it this time, and I apologize. Eric Johnson, I saw you in the backstage, sir. Feel free to come back in. We'd love to have you on. Let me go through here and kind of recognize the people that's in the stream. Obviously, I've seen Dwayne RTR, Sarah Crane, Texas Rocks, not just Rocks. Jamie Newman, Dwayne RTR, Sharon Stapleton, The Shadow, Assassin, Jordan Bowman, Sports Advantage, Shane Minnie, DJ Miller, UGA boy, Uga. I love that name. That is a great name, sir. Flex Dog Gaming. Thank you for joining the channel, sir. Eddie Sewell, SEC Dog, Spencer Cox, and Jason S. What's going on, buddy? Really appreciate you guys being in the stream. This is definitely something that has hit me a little harder than I probably wanted it to. I think this really upset me because I had gotten so emotionally invested in what I was expecting to see this year, not only because of the situation as it's laying out that we're not going to get a normal college season. We're not going to get the same amount of games. We're going to get close, but we're not going to get the same amount. Hey, Kevin, welcome to the channel, buddy. I was just so emotionally invested and I really wanted to see a mobile running quarterback. I wanted to see the offense evolve. I wanted to see offense again because I hadn't really seen offense all of last year. And I'm looking forward to see what Zamir White can do. I want to see what James Cook can do. I want to see what Eric Stokes can do. I want to see what all of these great players can do, mashed together and led by what I thought was an elite quarterback. And now I've got so many question marks in front of me, which I hate having, especially when you this close to the beginning of the season. You had a quarterback who basically drained half of the practices that we had away before the season started. and probably in the starting number one and then one's position. What's going on, RJ, all day? What's up, Rashad Lott? Sorry I missed your name earlier. You all are crying and belly aching like he Christ.
Yeah, we know Eric Stubb plays defense. He's still a playmaker that's fun to watch if you watch him. He's ball hawk for sure.
Yeah, I love watching Eric Stubbs fly around the field. The guy is so incredibly fast, and he has high football IQ. So he's not just dropping back and watching what's going on. He's dropping back and reading the field.
I remember our conversations. Remember seeing him at the spring game. Remember he stood out.
He was everywhere.
He was everywhere.
He was everywhere. He was either making the tackle. If the ball was passed down the field, he was either making the tackle or he was a step away when it happened and somebody else made the tackle. If there was a run up the middle, what's up, Mr. Bombi? He's sneaking in on the stream. If there was a run up the middle, he was in motion to it. He didn't get fooled by much. And it's a pleasure to watch. Most people get sucked into watching a football player or whoever's carrying the ball. But once you've watched football long enough that you can kind of just step back just a little bit and watch the overall plays evolve, where you can see a safety or a cornerback make a cut and take the right route to cut off a route runner, it's fun for me to watch that.
Yeah, Jason, I think LeCount's going to be good too. Yeah, he's bulked up a lot. I think he's taking on responsibility of some of his misgivings in the past. So I think he was looking to have a breakout year for sure. I'm really looking forward to seeing him.
Who was it that me and you used to text back and forth? The guy used to fumble on freaking kickoff returns all the time. Who was that?
Man.
McKenzie or something?
Yeah.
Sure. Shane Minnie says, Big Dog, tell me this, man. Why is everyone making such a big deal over a overrated QB leaving such a big deal? He never did nothing in a game that mattered. I assume that you're talking about Jamie Newman. And here's the philosophy. Georgia fans really believe that Kirby Smart was now fully engaged and invested in fixing the offense. And because of that, I'll get you in just a second, starting AR-10. We saw him bring in Todd Monken. Okay, a real offensive coordinator. Check. We've got some good receivers. Check. We got some good running backs. Check. Got a lot of guys on the offensive line returning. Check. We just need a good quarterback. We'll take that graduate transfer that put up just as good numbers as Fromm with a crappy O-line, and it actually did pretty good against Clemson if you look at his numbers. Yeah, I think if we plug that guy in, he could do really well. Let's do that. And so that's why there was so much excitement around him. We believed that everything was coming together. Thank you, Adam Ivy, for the membership, sir. Appreciate you joining the team. Really appreciate you having me in the VIP section, sir. What's up, buddy?
Where's the buffer?
Buffer. Look in the laundry basket in my room.
Thank you.
Yep. Let's bring in Sergeant AR-10 here. What's going on, Sergeant AR?
What up, Brett? What's going on?
Same shirt, different day, my man. Welcome back to the stream. Glad to have you again.
I appreciate you having me, man. How y'all doing today?
Yes, sir. I always enjoy people of Sergeant AR's caliber. He actually has a lot of good football sense, a lot of good football IQ. I think he's played a little bit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I played in college. I played in high school. Played in middle school.
Yeah, so you've seen a snap or two.
Yeah, a couple snaps.
So what's your opinion, man? What's your opinion of this? Are we overreacting? Are we spot on? Are we a little bit off? What do you think here?
Just take it with a grain of salt, man. Take it, look at the good, look at the bad. The bad is, this guy came in from Wake Forest, it's kind of like, in your high school years when, a chick decides to she says, hey, I'm going to go to the prom with you, you say, okay, cool, and then a month before the prom, she says, well, I got to go visit my grandma's, you know what I mean? And I can't make it, you know what I mean?
I don't know what that's like. I don't.
But there might be that pretty girl that's always been sitting behind you, that's quiet with the glasses, but she looks completely different when you take the glasses off and you let her hair down.
Man,
You end up going to prom with her, and then y'all are high school sweethearts. You know what I'm saying?
man, what are you talking about, man? I would take 3 or 4 girls to the prom. I mean, I had girls with tires on the vehicle. I need 4 to get there and a spare.
It's not September 26th yet. All the fans, y'all need to calm down. It's September the 2nd. We got 3 weeks to get ready for Arkansas. So, don't jump off the ledge yet. You know what I'm saying? A lot can happen between now and the 26th.
Well, I appreciate you trying to talk me down, man, because I was almost to the roof, man. I was getting up there.
Yeah. You're not the only one, man. I say 85% of Dog Nation pretty much is pissed off at him. And
there's only one place in the state of Georgia that Jamie Newman's going to be able to go, and it's called Bobby Dodd Stadium. That's called in the state of Georgia.
Let's just remember, people. We don't know what's all going through this kid's head. We don't know what's going on in his personal life. It's 1,000 things that could have happened to him outside of football that we don't know about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm leaning towards. Something that happened, like something happened, or some information was brought to light. I don't think this was, like I said, I don't think he just decided to opt out just on a whim. I think there was, like I said, I think something came up that made him make this decision.
If Stetson Bennett was our only option at QB, then I could say B word, but we have other options.
I think if they tried to plug Stetson Bennett in as quarterback, what you would see the offense change to what Alabama used to run about 7 years ago. It would be a handoff every down. Left side, right side, toss sweep. That would be the whole offense. Oh, wait, that's what we did last year.
I was going to say, it ain't too long ago that Georgia did that.
I'm just I'm lowering my expectations. I ain't gonna lie. I'm lowering my expectations, but I'm still thinking we can win the East. I still think we can go toe-to-toe with Florida, Tennessee, Kentucky, Mizzou. I just don't see those teams beating us. I mean, Brett, me and you could play quarterback, and all we got to do is throw a quick screen to Pickens and hand the ball off to Zamir. I mean, that's all we have to do, man.
You vastly overestimate my football ability. For me, it's gonna be like, you want me in as a quarterback? Great. You know what formation I'm gonna call? The wild dog. Don't even hand me the ball. I'm gonna go push up against somebody because that's all I'm qualified to do.
I think we'll be fine these two.
Our offense has completely changed because he was second in passing rating over 20 yards last year behind Joe Burrow. So the guy has a cannon. You know what I mean? But it's going to change our offense drastically. I know it is.
Well, here's my thought process, and this is kind of one of the things that crossed my mind after I made my video. And I remember looking back, and we had this dichotomy between Jake Fromm and Justin Fields. Both were true freshmen. One of them was going to start. We didn't know which one. Well, not true freshmen, but you know what I mean. We didn't know who was going to start. And what's going on, David Johnson? We saw that Justin Fields had some talent, but it didn't look like UGA knew how to use him. But that year that Jake Fromm came in and played behind Jacob Eason when he went out with a busted knee against Tennessee, man, that was a great-looking offense. We pretty much scored at will. We were able to get into a shootout match with a Heisman Trophy winner at Oklahoma and beat them.
Yeah.
And that was with a true freshman. So we had some weapons on the offense that helped us, but we still had a true freshman quarterback. So I have to remind myself of that. And then we didn't have a near as good offensive coordinator as what we've got now, at least on paper. If we bring in, which we got 2 NFL running backs right now, SEC dog.
Right.
If we bring in Carson Beck, I honestly at this point I either want to see DeJuan Mathis or I want to see JT Daniels. I'm not interested in seeing Carson Beck or Stetson Bennett. I've been saying all offseason that Jamie Newman's our guy, and now that Jamie Newman's not our guy, it was like I either wanted to be DeJuan Mathis or JT Daniels. JT Daniels put up video game numbers, like crazy numbers in high school. I mean, just ridiculous numbers. So I know the guy has talent. But then there's a big part of me, it just rips my heart out because I want DeJuan Mathis to play, but I also don't want to see him get hurt because I know he's had a brain injury, for goodness sakes.
Right.
We all know how violent football is. But this guy has been so incredibly loyal. It's almost like instead of cheering for Rudy, we're cheering for DeJuan. And I'm like, DeJuan.
I secretly want to watch this kid play. I mean, not secretly. I mean, I want to see him play. I want to see him out there. I mean, I would not be upset if he is the guy this year.
Yeah.
Let's say JT doesn't get medically cleared and we have to start with Mathis. I think the kid, talent. I know he's got to have the talent, but I mean, the kid deserves this opportunity to get out there and play for sure. I mean, don't forget this guy was a 4-star dual threat too. So I mean, he's got some talent, and being a dual threat, like you said, that's what we were excited to see with Jamie Newman. So maybe DeJuan Mathis can give us that. I mean, that's the NFL. I mean, that's the quarterback of the future, right? I mean, the NFL's going to that. You see a lot of colleges going to that. So yeah, I want to see it at Georgia. I mean, I was looking forward to it, like you.
My junior year, we had a kid named Lee Jackson. Man, this kid started as a freshman, an outside linebacker. 6'3", 235, ran track. I mean, just a beast. You know what I'm saying? Opening kickoff my junior year, he catches the kickoff. He runs. I mean, through the line, freaking hits the sideline. He gets horse collar tackled at like the 5-yard line, breaks his collarbone, and we still made it to the playoffs that year. So it's kind of the same situation.
Yeah, it's next man up for sure.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm just so I get so emotionally wrapped up, and
I know everybody does, man. Everybody, we've been led to the altar, and she said no. You know what I'm saying?
No, she didn't say no. That's not what she said. She said, "I'm gonna leave with him." That's what she said. And I'm okay if she's like, "No, we're not." But to walk up and be like, "Yeah, I'm taking the best man with me. We dipping out." Like, I'm gonna shake you in the parking lot. What are you talking about?
I mean, he already has his degree from Wake Forest, right? He already graduated from Wake Forest.
Yeah, he graduated.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe he got a call from an agent. Somebody got in his ear, was like, "Look, just sit out, and you'll get drafted at this point." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean it's like we were saying earlier. I don't know how high he's going to go not playing this year.
Right.
So I think not playing is certainly it's got to hurt his draft status, right? I mean, I can't see it helping. So I mean, unless he just had a terrible year at Georgia, but I mean, I just don't see that happening. I see.
Yeah.
Well, I think that for sure Trevor Lawrence is going, but it is entirely possible that Justin Fields doesn't.
Right.
If Justin Fields doesn't go, then I can see a case to be made for he's like, I'm going to be the second best guy in the draft. Yeah, right now my draft stock's as high as it's going to get most likely.
Right.
I think if Fields doesn't even play this year, Fields is a top 5 pick next year.
Oh, absolutely.
So I mean, there's no way I can say that about Jamie Newman.
And who knows? COVID might go crazy a month from now, and we only get to play one game this season. You never know what's going to happen.
Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. You take that back right now.
I'm just saying, don't be ready. Don't be ready to jump off the ledge yet. We don't know what's going to happen between now and October, so let's just pump the brakes. Get your frustration out, but relax. My dogs are going to be good, man. If we didn't have no defense, then I would be upset. But with that defense we got, I think we're gonna be just fine, man.
I got to tell you something. I got to tell you something about that AR. You said I got to calm down. I'm crossing the line. I'm stepping over the line.
I didn't say crossing the line. I just said don't jump off the ledge yet.
I'm telling you right now, I'm a habitual line stepper.
Exactly. But yeah, man, a lot of folks are upset, and I understand it, but let's look at the whole picture. We don't know what's going on with this kid. He might have lost a family member to COVID. You know what I mean? Right. We just don't know.
Well, I mean, regardless, I mean, we can all stand up here
and speculate.
Yeah, speculate and cry and complain and jump up and down, but at the end of the day, he gone.
He is.
So now we got to say, all right, he's gone. What's the next plan?
Yeah.
And to go back to kind of what we touched on earlier, I really think that it's highly likely that there was something in the mix earlier, and that's why JT Daniels got brought in the mix. The more I think about that, the more I think that that's likely the case, because I can specifically remember going, why in the hell would they bring on another 5-star quarterback to sit on the bench right now? It doesn't make any sense.
Maybe Kirby had a feeling, man. Maybe something, maybe a little bird.
I don't think Kirby had a feeling. I think Kirby had gotten a notice.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's like we were saying earlier when we were talking that you don't know how much the program, UGA and the coaching staff is knowing about this. I mean, there could have been, all kinds of situations that have led to him leaving, and he may have let the coach staff know way early on that if such and such happens, I'm going to have to take off.
Right.
And it could be for anything too. I mean, the fact that opt out has become this kind of buzzword for sports this year.
Yeah.
It could have been anything that caused it. It may not even be COVID related at all. It could be anything. I mean, he could, like we were saying earlier, he could have broken the rules and been released. And Kirby said, we'll just, so it doesn't hurt your reputation, we'll just say you opted out. There's no telling what happened. I don't think that's what's happened. But
my question is, why was Fields at the scrimmage?
Yeah, well, his sister goes to school there.
Yeah, his sister still. Yeah,
but so he may have been there visiting her and just watched it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Man, you have no idea. Like on a daily basis, man, I still get comments from the Justin Fields video I made that I wasn't mad about Fields leaving. I stand by that to this day. I'm not mad that Fields left, and I'm just gonna say it again since we're talking about the quarterback situation. UGA did not, and maybe up until now, did not have the capability of helping him progress as a quarterback. They couldn't even help Jake Fromm get better. He had no business staying at Georgia. Right. He was not experienced.
He should have never been recruited by Georgia.
That is correct.
In the first place.
It was basically he got recruited by Georgia just so they could say, "Oh, we got him. We got the best guy. We got the best guy." That's all that was, and had no way.
Well, that's what you do. You drive, you get these guys, and then you figure it out later, right? I mean, especially guys of this caliber.
They caught a fish they had no way to cook,
and I don't think the year prior to that, they had no way of knowing that Fromm was going to take us to a national championship game. I mean,
after Fromm made those comments, I made a video. I pretty much lost all respect for Fromm when he made those Twitter comments about people having silencers and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, man, if I ever see you with some Georgia gear on, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, he definitely hasn't done anything to help himself out. That's for sure.
Here's it. If I was a coach today and I was trying to give my players information on how to become a millionaire, the first thing I would do is tell them to immediately delete their Twitter account.
Social media,
right.
Sure.
Get rid of all social media, because I can tell you, and I'm nobody special. I mean, I really love that we get 60 people on a stream and we can have a conversation like this. It floors me to this day.
Brett, these kids can't live without social media, man.
You know what I can live without? I can live without social media. You know what I can't live without? Money.
Right.
I mean, money ain't air, but it's reasonably close. You got to have it to live. So, I would have that conversation with them. Do you like Corvettes? Do you like Ferraris? Do you want a $5 million house? Well, if you do, just let me hold that cell phone for you, and then I'm going to crack it in half and throw it in a bucket of water.
I'm going to tell you, in our lifetime, within our lifetime, there's going to be somebody that is not elected president because of what they posted on Twitter when they were 10. Watch.
Thanks, T. Davis. Hey, T. Davis, I appreciate the super chat, sir. T. Davis says, enjoying the stream tonight. Me too, man. I think it's a very productive conversation. I'm glad that Justin Fields went to a school that could make him a better quarterback.
Yeah, for sure.
I stand by the fact that I said that he did not have the experience to lead Georgia. That doesn't mean Jake Fromm did. That just means he didn't either. And he proved it. He proved it whenever he played in that playoff game because he had 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. Those were on him. Now, his team played a hell of a game, but he wasn't able to lead them to a victory. And Jake Fromm wasn't able to lead Georgia to any victories that I can think of last year, except maybe the Florida game. That was it.
Would you rather have Jamie Newman opt out now, or would you rather have him put up, 5-6 touchdowns against Arkansas, 4 touchdowns against Auburn, and then opt out? You know what I'm saying? I'd rather have him opt out now instead of being 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I said that earlier. I was like, I would rather him go now and be gone than halfway through the season decide he's leaving or whatever. I'm just at that point, I'm done. I mean, at that point, it's
you're damaging the season for sure when that happens. Yeah, but going back to the Fields Fromm thing, I know this has been talked about, but I don't think I think the fact that Fields didn't redshirt that first year, there's something strange about that situation. It was the perfect redshirt situation. I believe that was a decision left up to Fields.
I do too. I think that was a lack of leadership at UGA. What they should have done is they should have taken Fields and they should have said, "Hey, look, we're going to play you in exactly 4 games, and that's it. You can pick the 4 games, but 4 games is all you get." When they played him in that 5th game, the moment they snapped that ball, I said that was a mistake. That was an absolute mistake. You burned his red shirt for nothing.
Exactly.
And then whenever we played, I think it was it LSU or was it Auburn, where we were getting the hell beat out of us, and Jake Fromm was doing everything wrong. And I said, if you're not going to put him,
you're not going to play him now.
Why you're not going to?
Why did you burn the red shirt if you're not going to put him in this situation?
Yep. Exactly. I mean, because you couldn't have done any worse. Hell, let him try.
Yeah, that was in Baton Rouge. Yeah.
I was so mad about that.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to add another guy to the stream here.
And and going and talking about Fromm too. I really think.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, what's
up, man?
I think Fromm was I think what happened with Fromm was.
First of all, go Dogs.
Yeah, for sure, go Dogs. That was a coaching debacle in my opinion. I think they started off. Fromm started off and had that freshman year that was amazing, but then his sophomore, junior, and senior year, I don't think the coaching staff had confidence in the kid, which caused him to not have confidence in himself, and you just seen a regression that was it's hard to believe.
Look at the skill players and the freaking linemen that Fromm had in those 3 years.
It's crazy. He played more scared in his sophomore, junior, and senior season than he did in his freshman year, and you've seen just a lack of confidence. They didn't know. Yeah, go for it, bud.
Like, as far as the Jamie Newman situation, I honestly believe that he got beat out. That's just my honest opinion.
That's possible.
It's possible.
I think that's just my honest opinion. He got beat out by DeJuan Mathis.
Hey, I gotta hope you're right at this point.
Hey, is that dirty? Is that Dirty Bird Jamil? Is that the same Jamil?
Yes, sir. Yes, it is.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
I'm good, man.
If DeJuan Mathis beat out Jamie Newman, you will not find a happier Georgia fan than this guy. I will tell you. I will make a video talking about how wrong I was about Jamie Newman.
Oh man!
I will make a personal love infested thank you video to Jamie Newman. Quitting the team. I'll take back everything I said, and I'll be like, you know what? I may have said some things in haste. I'm sorry, but yeah, I mean, if it turns out to be the case, I'll find out what happened, man.
If you think about it, he already has a heads up. He's been at the program for a year already, so he's familiar with the players, familiar with the team, familiar with the coaching staff.
Yeah,
that's just my take on that.
Speculation, man. Speculation. I think the truth will come out like maybe in November.
Yeah, I think, like AR10 said, I think the truth will come out. I think it's going to be nothing that we even saw coming. I think it's going to be something, something personal that the kid had to deal with, and I think the Georgia coaching staff probably knew about it in advance.
You know what? That could be right. I think it's something that we don't know about.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think we're fixing to see some cortisone shots into JT Daniels, and let's go.
Be still. You're gonna feel some slight pressure and a sting.
Yeah.
I want to see him. I want to see him, man. I want to see him go against Felipe Franks, here in 3 weeks to see who's the better quarterback.
He hasn't been cleared yet, though, has he?
No, he hasn't. He hasn't. So I'm wondering how much play. I mean, even without being cleared, I mean, we might be seeing Mathis game 1 regardless at this point.
Right.
You know what?
Right.
I will tell you right now. I mean, I know the stadium won't be full, but the sound will be heard across the South. If they see Mathis run out there and make that first snap, it will.
I'm gonna be cheering. I'm cheering right there on my couch for sure.
Listen.
What you talking about cheering on your couch? You're gonna be cheering on my couch. You coming to my house
on the couch. Actually, I probably won't be on the couch. If I see him roll out there, I'm gonna be on my feet.
That's right. I've decided that this year I'm going to I got a big giant speaker like this with a microphone on it, and every time Georgia scores a first down, I'm going to run outside and yell the quarterback's name because we didn't get a whole lot of that last year. I had to give up on the touchdowns because I can't say that often enough for it to matter. Ooh.
Hey, it's a lot of Gator fans out there, man. They're smiling now. They think they got the East locked up.
You know what? I'm okay with that, man. We've proved that even with a excuse my language, a slack ass Jake Fromm, we were able to beat them
3 times in a row.
That's right.
3 times in a row.
Basically, what I'm saying is, if I have already beaten you to death with a handful of wet spaghetti noodles, wait till I get a stick. I just need a stick. I don't need a nightstick. I don't need nunchucks. I don't need a blackjack. Just give me a stick. Jake Fromm.
A straw. Just give me a straw. It ain't got to be a stick.
Jake Fromm, I swear, was as bad as Grayson Lambert or worse.
I don't know about all that.
I don't know about that. Right. I don't know about that.
Now hold on. Let me justify what I'm saying.
Yeah, that was a bold statement.
It is a bold statement, but listen to
it's the same game plan, wasn't it?
Yep.
Screen pass here, screen pass there, go in the flat.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's the same thing they did.
But here's the thing: Jake Fromm had better weapons around him than Grayson Lambert did.
Yeah.
That is true. True enough.
Yeah.
You might have a point. Now that I think about it.
Was it Grayson Lambert? Like was it the South Carolina game? Was that the game that he was that the one they decided to let him throw? Was that the one where he made all the passes in a row or something like that?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
Yeah. Like he comes into that game hardly throwing the ball at all, and all of a sudden he breaks some crazy record for completions in a row.
It was like 17,
I believe.
No, it was 17, wasn't it?
Yeah. What
somewhere up in there.
Averaged about 5 yards a pass or something like that.
Yeah, it's some 5 yard out, 3 yard set.
Yeah.
It's very
comeback route.
You were hearing the announcers go, well, technically that's a pass, but
hey, it's the same thing that Fromm did against South Carolina. It's just that South Carolina was able to man-to-man our running back or our receivers, and he couldn't do anything with that.
Yeah.
I mean, Fromm was kind of trying to do the same thing.
Carolina's got a good defense, man. I got to give it to them.
They outcoached us in that game. I mean, they were the people that exposed.
Will Muschamp. He has his money with us.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, gentlemen, I'm going to ask you a question here, and let's see who knows their stats. How many? What do you think the QB rating was for Jake Fromm his last year at UGA?
On the scale of 1 to 100?
No. It was there's your QBR rating. I'll just tell you Jake Fromm's. It was 141.2. What do you think Grayson Lambert's was?
I have no idea.
Lower.
I can't even tell you.
141.5.
Oh. There you go.
Wow.
yards
Learn
per
something new every
attempt.
day.
Yards per attempt for his last year, like really playing as a junior, was 7.7 yards, and Jake Fromm's was 7.4. Yards after the catch, or yards at catch, was 8.2 for Lambert, 8.1 for Fromm.
They basically the same stats for the most part.
I mean, now while Jake Fromm had more yards passing than Lambert did,
the QB threw the ball more.
Yeah, that's correct. He threw the ball more. If Lambert would have thrown as much as Fromm, they would have just been equally as bad.
So Grayson did more with less then.
Yes.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, if you believe the narrative, Fromm didn't have any receivers last year that could run routes. So.
Well, I'll tell you this. And Keith has already heard me say this before, but I'll tell everybody in the stream. You cannot make me believe that we had 3- and 4-star wide receivers that were getting to be 3- and 4- and sometimes 5-star wide receivers catching passes from high school football players that never made it to any college school, but yet they can't catch a pass from a 4-star Jake Fromm. That doesn't compute.
Yeah,
I think you combine what I said earlier about Fromm's his confidence in himself and threading those passes and stuff, and then the receivers being a little underexperienced running routes. They weren't getting a whole lot of separation. So I think there were throws to be made that Fromm just couldn't read, just didn't see him. He didn't have, or maybe he did see him and just didn't think he could make the throw. And that's kind of is the difference between Fields and Lawrence and Fromm, right? I mean, they see an opportunity and they feel like I can make every throw on the field. And I don't think Fromm feels that way. I think Fromm is, I don't want to throw an interception, so I'm going to just dump it over here.
In other words, he bats 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I want to throw a conspiracy theory on the table here. I think that there were times last year where Fromm was hurt, and it was being hidden because there were times you would watch him walk off the field. And he was grabbing his ribs. There were times he would walk off the field. He was grabbing his shoulder. If you go back and watch that stuff, it's there. But Georgia didn't have anybody to put in there behind him, so he had to play. It was Jake Fromm or bust. And I think that he was legitimately hurt during the South Carolina game, and they just kind of kept it quiet. Yeah. There was a lot of players last year that played hurt that you didn't find out about until well past the game or into the next season. I mean, until we're in off season, because you heard Kirby Smart say it. Yeah, we know, he didn't have a really good season, but he played hurt in most of those games. It was like, I didn't know that. It's like,
that's something we need to know as fans.
Well, but he can't divulge that information, because the moment that the team you're playing, especially in Alabama or an LSU or an Auburn or a Florida, the moment that they know that you have a weakness, they're going to absolutely exploit it. Yep. Right. So you got to hide all that stuff. As much as we'd like to have it as fans, I understand why they don't tell us.
Yeah. But you go back and look at that South Carolina game. I mean, they were the first team to just put their DBs on an island and just stack the box, and that worked.
And those are NFL caliber DBs.
For sure. And South Carolina,
they had Kinlaw. They had Javon Kinlaw too.
Muschamp knew that. I mean, he had that game plan dialed up for us off the rip, and it worked to a T.
He always plays tough though. Even back in his Florida days, he was like that.
Yeah, that's why whenever what was it, like earlier, I was hoping that they brought that Kirby Smart could figure out a way to just get Muschamp over as the defensive coordinator. Since they're buddies.
Yes.
So in that game, are you ready for this? This is one of the reasons why I think Jake Fromm was hurt. In that game, he passed. How many passes do you think he threw in the South Carolina game?
16.
How many?
16.
No. Anybody else?
I say in the mid to low 20s.
He threw 52 passes in that game.
Man.
And he only completed 28. His yards per pass was 5.7.
Yeah. Check
So
down every time.
that is a check down pass every time, which typically would lend me to believe that a quarterback is either not going to throw the long ball because it's not there, or he can't because he's hurt, which would make sense as to why all of his passes were coming up short. That's why he wasn't hitting players in stride, because he couldn't get enough on it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just a theory. Just a theory.
I know he definitely did
I can
not
see
look
that,
like
though.
he was capable of doing it, or at least didn't feel like he thought he was capable of doing it. Because it was like I remember as a fan just thinking, just throw the ball, just throw it downfield, like one time. Come on,
Let your players go get it. Yeah.
Even if it's not complete, we got to let them know that this is a possibility, right? I mean, when you don't throw it down the field, even if you don't complete it, they know you're not going to do it. I mean, that takes a huge section. It takes a huge amount of your offense away. If they're not scared, you're going to throw the ball deep.
Yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't
That's
even.
when Jamie Newman came in, man. I could just see, man, Kearis Jackson, man, Pickens, you know what I'm saying? The deep ball to Matt Landers, man. I was so excited for Newman, man.
And
Hold on, hold on, guys.
Bertman.
I gotta recognize this comment. He said Fromm was a Glock frame with high point parts.
Nice.
That's a good way to put it.
For those of you who don't know, obviously everybody knows what a Glock is. A Glock is kind of a high-end semi-automatic handgun, and the military uses it in some applications because it can take a beating, it can get wet, it can get dirty, it can get muddy, it'll fire underwater. It's an outstanding weapon. A high point is about the cheapest brick you can buy that will fire a round out of it. So that's what he's referencing right there.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're running on about an hour and a half here. I got some stuff I got to do, like take the kiddos to bed and whatnot. But
all right, man. Well, take it easy, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir. This has been we got one more guy who wants to jump on here, so I'm going to drop you two guys off and add on the other guy here.
All right.
All right.
But I appreciate you guys joining. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Hey, Brett.
What's going on, dog fan?
Nothing much. Ready for football season.
Boy, ain't we though? I'm ready. Man, you got the setup, man. I need to come over to your house and do my show, man. Look at you, man. What you got up there? Dang. See, I need my address is, write this down. Clear. But man, you got it going on, man. I wish I had your setup there, man. Nice.
Yeah.
Somebody put that aimless activist put Fromm as a disposable camera in the era of smartphones. That's pretty good too. So he just wanted to flex what he had at his house, man. He jumped off. I'm jealous. You got me. You win. I'm jealous. Dang. But yeah, I've got something else I'm going to be working on here pretty soon too. There is I'm going to attempt. I'm not saying I'm going to succeed, but I'm going to attempt to make something that's called a flex neon sign. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I'm going to try it, and I'm going to put it right up there somewhere. So, but yeah. Well, guys, I'm going to go ahead and jump off. Before I do, I really appreciate all the guys that joined to be members. We got some new members tonight. Thank you guys so much for that. If you want to join and be a member and support the channel, that would be greatly appreciated. We're going to be upgrading and buying some more gear here in the future. I'm always trying to improve the channel for you guys. Trust me, the webcam that I buy doesn't help me the moment I leave this desk. It's nice, but it doesn't help me at all. So I really appreciate you guys supporting the channel. If you guys have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. If you guys stuck around for the entire stream, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Hats off to Keith. Thank you for joining the stream, sir. We need to have you back. We need to have you back on a regular basis, especially when we start getting into the season. I want to get some of your you have a unique perspective on a lot of the ins and outs of college football and how things are played. I really appreciate that kind of content, and I think the viewers do too. So we'll have you back on a regular basis. You guys have a great day. What is that? Oh, yeah. God bless. What's that other part? Oh, yeah. Go Dogs.